Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1311 North Wilson Street here in Lafayette. I describe everything as if you are standing in the street facing the front of the home. We are currently off to the left of the front doorway. In fact, your clean out here, should you lose track of it, lines up perfectly with the left side edge of that window frame right there. Right out in front of the patio here, about 3 feet out from the concrete. With a 3-inch ABS clean out. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We're going to put some more water down line here in just a moment. And I zeroed out the foot counter there at the base of the clean out. A nice steep downhill run there to start out. Line's transitioning here to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. So far, line is looking good. And actually quite a clean sewer line. There's very little buildup in it. If you see that little bit of tan stuff in the flow line there, kind of little strips or lines of it, that's a very, very minor example of some grease buildup. Relative to most homes, this is a very clean sewer line. Yeah, after 13 years of doing this, almost 25,000 scopes now, I've come to the point where grease buildup, honestly, is more concerning, at least when it gets to a thick point and a continuous layer throughout the line. Probably causes more blockages out there than almost anything you can do to your sewer line. And it's often what exacerbates a lot of structural issues like bellies, offset joints, things like that, into things that can actually cause a problem. That turns your line into just a sticky mess, causes debris that can get hung up that otherwise wouldn't. And when you do get blockages, they block more effectively. They're less likely to break loose on their own. Anyway, this is the main lateral connection right here, which we're going to go locate in just a moment. Alright, well, we'll let the water drain off here. We're going to go locate really quick here, and then we'll pull the camera back in. Thus far, nice looking sewer line. Alright, located the camera head. Line terminates out on North Wilson. And the line here where I just did that locate out in the street, the clean out, I'm sorry, the locate lined up almost perfectly with the clean out access. If you were to draw an imaginary straight line from the clean out to the road, that is essentially the pathway the line takes. Anyway, if you want to keep your line this clean, or at least maintain the level it's at right now, best thing you can do is avoid putting cooking oil and grease, fats in general, down the line. Or the kitchen sink drain is usually where it comes from. I just bumped my camera funny there. My foot counter just froze up. Wondering why it's not counting backwards. Anyway, rule of thumb I tell most people to help mitigate kind of the bulk of grease buildup. If you have enough grease or oil on your pans, that when you turn the pan sideways, this is when the pan is hot or warm anyway, there's enough on there that it flows off the pan in beads or worse. It's at that point you want to do something about it. Let the pan cool down, wipe it out with a paper towel, pour the grease into a jar, scrape it off in the garbage can, something like that. You just want to keep it from going down the line. A thin little coating of Pam spray is really no big deal. Hot water and soap handles that just fine. So that tie-in that's right here in front of the camera, what that is a secondary clean out. And in this circumstance, I'm looking around for it here. it looks like it's covered up by the bark dust. These are often either in the sidewalk and or right where the yard meets the sidewalk. It looks like it got bark dusted over. That's all that is there. Very, very normal thing to have, especially on newer homes. Now, all the PVC pipe looks great. Drains beautifully. All the joints are tight. And very, very little buildup to speak of. And it's nice to see someone did a... This is not the most ideal way to install a line with this kind of nosedive. Sometimes installers have to do it. But it often results in standing water at the base of the hard vertical drop. And sometimes even an offset joint. Nice to see someone did one of those without getting the line to settle. Looks very good. Everything from the clean-out access to the main lateral connection is in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time. Alright, we are now going backwards toward the home, and we'll go until we get to the foundation wall. Everything from that point on is exposed piping that the home inspector takes a look at when they're down in the crawl space. It's not stuff you need a camera for. That right there we just went through was the hard vertical drop. In this case we're going uphill, but as the water flows, this right here is as the line juts down to get underneath the foundation wall. Great looking sewer line end to end. It is functioning properly at this time. Anyway, you keep the same habits up there with the grease and you can keep the thing clean and humming along just fine. It's a really good habit to have in place, especially when you have little kids that are still learning how to fold toilet paper. Helps prevent those balled up toilet paper bundles they flush down the line from blocking up in the line. And if they do block, it's more likely they're going to break loose naturally on their own under head pressure than hang in there and turn into something. So that's the PSA for the day on grease.